in the East?
You got to go with the Miami Heat, them goons from Dade County. Listen, one is that this matchup is personal. If we look over the past 2 years, we saw the Miami Heat beat the Bucks in the bubble. We saw last year the Bucks swept the Heat, and now the Heat are healthy. Matter of fact, they stole one of their players in P.J. Tucker. When I look at the Miami Heat, they are the only team, in my opinion, that has the personnel to slow down Giannis. And when you look at this season in particular, they held Giannis, when they played them 4 times, in 2 of those games, Giannis was held to 15 points. 15 points because you have a guy like Bam Adebayo. You have a guy in Jimmy Butler. You have a guy in P.J. Tucker. You have multiple bodies that you could throw and slow down Giannis. Plus, Eric Spoelstra's game plan is load up and touch. So psychologically, it plays with Giannis' mental. So when I look at what's going on with the Heat and I look at the tenacity that they play with on the defensive end, I would say, the Miami Heat pose the biggest threat. But now look, the Celtics, yeah, they're in great shape, but they're missing Robert Williams. And that's a key thing. Like missing Tom Lloyd, a guy that anchors the defense, a guy that is one of the best rim protectors in the game today. That's why I give the edge to the Miami Heat, because of their personnel.
I like the thought on a Big Perk. I mean, first off, you can make the comment that you could say the biggest challenge to the Bucks might be the Brooklyn Nets in that first opening round. Just because if KD and Kyrie are able to go off, it makes it a completely different game. And I hear what you're saying on the Time Lord. Even though he's projected to come back 6 to 8 weeks, we'll see how that progresses for him with that torn meniscus. But I am giving a lot of credit finally to the Boston Celtics here. Because my thing is, it is time, KP. It is time for us to see Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown arrive on the biggest stage. I've been a huge proponent of saying I think Jason Tatum can be in the upper echelon conversation of superstars in this league, in the same likes of KD, in the same likes of Giannis, in the same likes of Embiid or Kyrie. He's waiting to pierce that upper echelon because he hasn't reached it yet, because we haven't seen him take his team to the next level in the playoffs. With the way they defend, if they can hold route with Daniel Tice in the backbone, I know he's different than Robert Williams, but with the way as prolific as he can score to take over a game with Jaylen Brown, even though he struggled a little bit, you saw what he did last night. I think those two, with Marcus Smart, there is a toughness there in Boston that they are a team that they are ascending in a different type of way. And here's my only concern with Miami, because I like your Miami pick. I just feel it gets to a certain point with Miami where they start getting tired. We are talking about a team that lost their last 4 out of 6 games, right? And granted, they played better last night against the Boston Celtics, but it always seems like they run out of steam because they don't have a super guy. Jimmy Butler he's a star, but he's not a superstar. They do it collectively, but it seems like their legs get always heavy when it matters the most, with the exception of when they're in the bubble.
That's not true. That's not true. And here's the thing. Jimmy Butler, he's never a regular season guy. If you go and look at his numbers, he always elevates his game when it matters the most in the postseason. We watched him when he went toe-to-toe with LeBron James in the bubble. We watched him when he did certain things when he was with Chicago, carrying that team and so forth.
Perk, you talking about 5-6 years ago? You talking about that? No, you talking about the Jimmy Butler back in the day with Chicago?
I'm just saying.
And like I said, with the exception of the bubble. The bubble. Nobody had to travel on the bubble. I mean, guys had time off before the bubble. They had fresh legs during the bubble.
Yeah, but Jay Will, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about the Heat culture. And you know this. When you do a background check on guys who are the best condition, when you talk about guys who have the top-notch training facility, training staff, we all know that Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra make those boys get on the exercise bike. We all know that they get their body fat tested every single week. We all know that they have to be at a certain criteria to even step foot on the floor. Remember those days when Shaq, Antoine Walker, and James Posey was playing with the Miami Heat? You remember when they couldn't get on the floor because they wasn't making weight and they wasn't passing the body fat test? See, that's the culture I'm talking about. So when we talk about being in shape, we talk about those fresh legs. Look, we're looking at a guy in Bam Adebayo who could possibly, by the way, win the Defensive Player of the Year award this year. You have to have a guy that could neutralize Giannis. Giannis is the most dominant player in the NBA. And with the Celtics missing Robert Williams, let me know what guy on the Celtics is going to neutralize Giannis Antetokounmpo. I know PJ Tucker can.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get in here one second because I'm just a little confused, Jay Williams, because I have the pleasure of having Perk on the show also on Monday.
Okay.
So Monday he joined us, and he had the Celtics coming out of the East.
Oh.
So I just want to know what changed now. Is it the Robert Williams injury? Like why you jumped off your squad and why now Jay Will's defending them 4 days later?
Yeah, but Molly, see, here's the thing. I was on here on Monday, and I also came on here on Monday and said, you know what? I'm going to have to change and go with Tim Legler. You remember me saying that? You remember I said I had to roll with the Bucks coming out of the Eastern Conference because I broke the news on First Take that I was looking at my social media and I saw that Robert Williams had tore his meniscus. Do you remember that, Miss Molly, since you want to jump in the middle of it?
That must have been in like the H block, and I had already tuned you out by then.
Yeah, okay, cool.
But
okay,
I remember
cool.
when we started the show, you were Celtics.
I was.
But it's because of the Robert Williams injury, then you're saying. Even though you know he's going to come back now, potentially second round.
Yeah, but we don't know how he's going to come back. Like, everyone is not going to come back to the game of basketball like we witnessed the other night for us with Paul George or Kyrie Irving. Like, big fellas, when they sit out for a while, it take them a while to get back into rhythm. You know what I mean? So we don't know which version of
Big
Robert
Perk.
Williams we're going to see. Jay Will, what's
Big
up?
Perk. I got you asked the question, who's going to guard Giannis? You're telling me you can't have Jaylen Brown get up underneath Giannis full court with the way he can defend? You're telling me you can't load up the paint? You're telling me Ime Udoka can't put together a game plan with the personnel that they have to guard Giannis the right way? And you act like Bam Adebayo is just going to stop? Nobody's stopping Giannis, first of all. You have to limit the volume. You heard KD say it the other day. Ain't nobody stopping this man. It's about limiting the other pieces around him. And mark this down. Boston is, you talked about this, Boston is the best defensive team in the Eastern Conference. Don't sleep on your old squad, KP. Don't sleep on them like this now.
Yeah, but Jay Will, they're missing a guy that could possibly win the Defensive Player of the Year award. Listen, let me break something down to you, okay?
Go ahead, break it down. Tell me.
I see you, I know. When you have a guy in Robert Williams that protect the basket the way that he does, it allows Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, and Jaylen Brown to be aggressive on the wing position defensively because you know you have one of the best rim protectors in the game. Without Robert Williams, you're not allowed to be that aggressive. And now what you're doing is this. We talk about fresh legs. Now we're talking about you asking Jaylen Brown to go out there and stop Giannis Antetokounmpo, a guy that weighs heavy on you every single possession, and then go on the other end.
It takes a team. And by the way, would the Boston Celtics see the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round? Perk? No, they wouldn't. They would probably see them in the Eastern Conference semis, or we'll see how it pans out with the top 4 seeds, or they could see them in the Eastern Conference Finals. My thing is 6 to 8 weeks, man. That's not too long.
All I'm gonna say, I know Molly got to take us to break, and I hear him to count down.
I'm not done with you. Answer him though. Yeah, go for it.
No, because you remember, Jay Will, two years ago, you and I was sitting up here, and I tried to warn you about them goons from Dade County. You remember that? You remember when I tried to warn you when we were sitting on the get-up?
Are we still talking about the bubble?
It's basketball.
We keep talking about the bubble.
It's basketball.
It was basketball, but there were no home and away games.
So now it's still 94 feet. The goals are still 10 foot. So now we're downplaying that.
Okay. Can I go? Are you go if you have something.
No,
I
go
just
ahead,
have something else because I'm confused again. So okay.
Oh,
so
my
Perk,
God.
wait, hold on. So
Get him, Molly.
Perk,
Get him.
on Monday. So you had the Celtics, Big Perk, my guy, on Monday. And then you broke the news, Adam Schefter style. I appreciate that, Robert Williams. And then you said, okay, so then you said you joined forces with Tim Legler, right? And Tim Legler had who out of the East on Monday?
He had the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay, but today you have the Heat.
No,
he's saying the best to challenge the Heat.
No. Molly,
Yeah.
I've been doing this show long enough, and that's a nice try. I still have the Milwaukee Bucks winning the
Okay.
East. Your
Sounded like
question
the
is,
Heat.
your question was, and it's right here, I'm looking at it right on my teleprompter.
Yeah.
Bigger threat to the Bucks, Miami or Boston. That don't mean that I'm picking the Miami Heat or the Celtics. We're saying who's the biggest threat.